Ever since its introduction in 7.28, Aghanim Shard has been a unique and refreshing way for the Dota 2 development team to balance, nerf, and buff the various heroes of the roster. With 123 playable heroes currently available, this makes for many unique scenarios where heroes can go from being entirely unplayed to downright top tier. In this video, I present 5 shards I believe are either overlooked or have some very powerful application to your ranked gameplay. Let's get started. If you haven't been following the current pro scene of Dota 2, it's safe to say that Marzi, upon her release in Captain's mode, brought about a newfound popularity for her. When Marzi isn't busy being banned by most teams, she's usually seen being picked instead and has a tremendous amount of success to boot. Marzi's shard has the ability to toggle rebound ability, so instead of rebounding off a target, Marzi rushes towards the target and tosses them instead of herself. What's unique about this is that rebound seems to have some interesting quirks of its own. Another currently popular hero, Faceless Void, uses his Chronosphere to pick off targets of his choosing. A quick-witted Marzi player, however, can use this to her advantage and, provided her ally is at the edge of Void's Chronosphere, can yeet them into safety despite them being present in Chronosphere. Who's the real Time Lord now? It's worth noting that her other ability, Dispose, carries this very same property. Void might control time, but Marzi bends it. The Slitherine Guardian himself has for quite some time been able to lay down the law with his high physical damage. What's interesting about Florida's shard, however, is that it was actually buffed from 7.28 to 7.29 to work the same way as an item such as Desolator does. When Slardar does a Slitherine Crush, he damages and stuns all opponents around him within the radius. With shard present on the hero, he also applies his current level of Corrosive Haze onto the targets. This matters greatly because Corrosive Haze severely reduces the armor of any hero subjugated to it, and because it's applied before the crush damage, and Slitherine Crush itself being a physical damage spell, you'll see much higher damage as a result of acquiring shard on Slardar. You'll find heroes and creeps going down much faster as you're playing around on the map. It's a win-win. Going through some turbulent times in the meta, Lark seems to come and go as Valve has been throwing quite a few buffs towards our fishy boy in recent months. Lark's shard should come as no surprise in its effectiveness. Death Shroud creates what amounts to Lark's ultimate within a small radius. Any ally hero that finds himself within said radius gets the same healing properties Slark would normally get from his ultimate, including Slark himself of course. What's interesting to note here is that shard gets more powerful every time Slark puts another level in his ultimate. There is however another way. While the 70 Dark Pact damage certainly is more common if a player picks up 1.5 Shadow Dance region instead, this also applies to Death Shroud. That's effectively 1.5 level worth of Slark's ultimate in bonus healing. But wait, I'm not done yet. Even more striking is that at level 20, Lark has yet another choice to make. This ability effectively gives Lark 75 attack speed whenever his ultimate is activated. However, there's a catch. Death Shroud, through Shard, applies Shadow Dance to yourself as well as everyone on your team. Giving certain heroes 75 attack speed on top of the defensive capabilities can be enough to nab a tier 3 tower that would otherwise be impossible, or clench out a teamfight in your favor. Well, Slark support anyone? Known for its monkey business more than anything, Sun Wukong has gone through quite a journey since his addition into the Dota 2 roster back in 7.00. What has always been a thing on Monkey King, however, is his basic ability he always had leveled at level 1, Mischief. Back in his early days, Mischief was seen as a bit of a joke spell by most in the community, until people found out that it carried the same properties and abilities such as Naga's Illusion Split or Alchemist's Ultimate. For a brief second, Monkey was invulnerable, and could not be stunned. This created scenarios especially during the laning phase where you'd have something like a Vengeful Magic Missile or Sven Stormhammer being tossed at you, and with the correct timing, you'd not only dodge the damage, but more important, the stun itself. Val realized that in the right hands this was simply too powerful, and while Mischief still retains the defensive properties of taking no damage after briefly activating Mischief, you will very much still get stunned. That is, unless you pick up a shard. I'm happy to say that if you decide to get shard on Monkey King, it all goes back to the good old days of his terror. You'll be able to swerve in and out of a teamfight and, provided you're quick enough on your fingers, dodge stuns that would otherwise leave you in a myriad of trouble. A shorter cooldown, a longer invulnerability period, no longer slows Monkey himself down after activation, and it disjoints projectiles? You can definitely pull off some fancy stuff with this one. While currently in a rather rough shape as far as power and the meta is concerned, it's not all doom and gloom for our magic-hating friend Antimage. Antimage has one of the criminally least bought shards in the game, and I firmly believe that people underestimate just how powerful this thing is on average. Upon acquisition, Shard creates a permanent 900 or 300 radius around Antimage where enemy spells, and the keyword here is spells, will do either 10 or 30% less damage based on proximity to Antimage himself. This doesn't just mean that enemy heroes do less magic damage towards you with the shard present on Antimage. It means that most spells present in the game, even those with physical damage, such as Slardar's Slitherine Crush, is affected by Antimage's shard. Antimage is already known for being a very brittle hero due to his lacking gains in the strength attribute department, but with the ability to cut off 30% spell damage from attacks such as Slithering Crush, Unstable Concoction, and yes, even the highly feared Quill Spray, you might just be surprised how much more punishment you're able to take before going down as Antimage. That's it for this video. I hope these few shards end up being beneficial to you in your Dota 2 games, and end up giving you a winning edge when applied. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.